Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. Hope all of you are doing well. You are putting your all best endeavor and efforts toward this examination. This is a video session on daily news and editorial analysis dated 11th of October. Through this video session, I'll make you understand some of the important news and editorial that would be relevant for the civil services examination. And apart from the civil services examination, if you are preparing for any other state PCS and government examination, the entire session is going to be fruitful. Now, before I begin the session, I just wanted to give an insight about the MCQs. It is very important for the upcoming prelims examination that you get a practice for the MCQs. We have free platform where the questions are published on daily basis. If you want to practice more, we have a dedicated program called Nischay. This is an all India test series program where we are providing with 4900 plus questions. Along with that, a video discussion will be provided, demo test to check the questions, and free magazine for content enrichment. If you want to instantly register for the Nischay All India Test Series program and judge yourself, do scan this QR code for further registration, and you can reach our website also to get the further details and schedule. So do check it out. Now let's get started with the news discussion. So the first news of the day is about the test of the Gyaan Mission. ISRO has confirmed that they will be coming up with the first test flight. The second important news is about the climate change. You can find this news in the e-paper of the Indian Express. The third important news talks about the IMF projections for the India's GDP growth. The second last important news talks about the telemedicine and its achievement in India so far. COVID-19 के टाइम पे काफी potentially help की है telemedicine ने. And we'll conclude the session with editorial that talks about the women reservations, the women empowerment, and the society need to change in that prospect. Something very important that is coming from this editorial. So this is all for today's discussion. Let's start with a detailed discussion of each and every news. And starting with the first news of the day, that is the first test flight for Gyaan Mission that has been scheduled. And this is an official announcement that was made by ISRO. The Indian Space Research Organization has come up with the official statement that the Gyaan test will be done on 21st October 2023. So this is the first test flight. Before the final schedule is taking place, the Gyaan mission is coming with the dummy test that will be giving an hand-on experience about the real-time experience of the Gyaan. So the other details that you need to know about the test. So this is basically a crew model. This is a crew model test which will be there by ISRO. And the place and area has been identified. The main aim is to have the module to the outer space, bringing back to Earth, recovering after the touch of Bay of Bengal. So this is actually what has been scheduled by ISRO, right? Conducting on October at the end. और उसके थ्रू इस पर्टिकुलर टेस्ट के थ्रू जो गगनयान की जो मैंड गगनयान मिशंस हैं, this will have Vamitra as a female robot. I think most of you must be aware of Vamitra. It's a female robot that will be the part of the onboard Gyaan mission. So this name become very important many times in competitive examination. There can be a question, which particular female robotic astronaut will be there in the mission? So the correct answer is Vamitra. Now the crew escape model की अगर बात करें, how does it actually function? These are some of the basics that you need to know. If it is not relevant for examination although, but कुछ basics आपको पता होनी चाहिए. This will cover with TVD1 test, which is a single stage fuel. So this is a single stage fuel system of the rocket development, which will be aborted with the mission. The payload consists of the crew module, that is a CM. Then we have crew escape model, better known as CES, right? And this will stimulate the abort conditions during the adjacent trajectory. इसकी मार्च की अगर बात करें, this is the speed. We calculate the speed through the march, right? So this will be 1.2 that is expected for the Gyaan mission. This is what the ISRO has confirmed. The vehicle will be developed with the part of TVD1 that will be continued with the Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota, and that is scheduled from Indian astronaut during the human space aircraft that will be done next year. So let's see, after the final confirmation, after this test is conducted, more insight will be coming from the ISRO. Now there's some other details about the crew escape system. How does it function? What are the other details that you need to know? So it has 5 basic modules that is actually functional. So first we have integrated drop test, that is IADT. Then we have test vehicle mission, that is TV. Pad abort test, better known as PAT. Then there we have unmanned flight, where Vomitra will be there, and manned flight will be there, right? So this is how the things will function in the crew space system of the Gaganyaan mission. Now, Gaganyaan mission की अगर बात करें, a brief about the mission. I have already made a discussion to Gaganyaan. तो Gaganyaan mission की अगर बात करें, it aims to develop human-abled spacecraft capsule, which will carry the members with an orbit of 400 kilometers or 200 miles. So the first manned aircraft mission is there by India. 3 astronaut will be there. 3 astronaut होनी है. ये 400 kilometers तक travel करेंगे for 3 days. So this is a time frame that has been there. Plants placed down on India. TVD1 is first developed in India. Important stage की अगर बात करें for the projection and fully integrated and tested. The test vehicle is unpressurized version, right? So India will become the 4th country. ऐसी country बनेगी India 4th में, जो कि इस तरह के missions को complete करेगी with manned mission. And definitely it's a proud moment for all of us that we are definitely praying that this mission should be successful our country, right? So very important. prelims में आप इससे सवाल expect कर सकते हैं, जिस तरह से mains में UPSC ने चंद्रयान पे सवाल पूछे हैं, गगनयान मिशन पे भी आपसे क्वेश्चंस पूछे जा सकते हैं. Now moving ahead, National Academy for Science study on climate change. Something astonishing that is coming out of the fact with the studies. एक study publish की गई है in the proceedings of the National Academy for Sciences, जिन्होंने warn किया है कि ऑलमोस्ट 2.2 बिलियन पॉपुलेशंस जो है इंडिया के, इसके साथ साथ जो इंडस वैली और पाकिस्तान के रीजन्स हैं, इनमें हीट इतनी ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगी कि टॉलरेंस लेवल्स के बियॉन्ड जाएगी, एंड इट विल हैव अ ह्यूज रिपरकशंस टू द ह्यूमन लिविंग. सो दीज आर द फाइंडिंग्स दैट विल बी स्टडिंग इन ब्रीफ एंड समथिंग रेलिवेंट दैट इज देयर फॉर द एग्जामिनेशन. सो क्या स्टडी में पाया गया है? जर्नल ने पब्लिश किया दैट this is a journal which was published by the National Academy for Science. It warned that 1% of the degree is expected to rise और billion people इनसे impact करेंगे. It will have a lethal impact. It will have a lethal impact in the human body. और इस heat की वजह से जो human suffering है वो और ज़्यादा बढ़ेगी. और natural cooling की अगर बात करें, the natural cooling which will be there will be not that easy. It will take its due course of time until unless it will create problem to the mankind. The rising global temperature is due to climate change. Climate change एक important factor है जिसके वजह से सारी चीजें हो रही है और beyond the limit it is increasing, and there are serious health repercussions that is also there. Heat stroke will be there and heart attack there. Heart attack के अलावा और कौन-कौन से ऐसे repercussions है climate change के? I'll tell you something brief that you can even write in the mains examination, right? तो क्या-क्या repercussion हो सकते हैं climate change के? See, we have something that is the cost of adaptations and cost of area that are rising with the sea level, relocations of the whole town, shrinking of the productivity and harvesting. जो food products हैं, specifically the foods item that will be there will be impacted. Prices of food stuff with the consumer goods will rise. Extreme meteorological phenomena देखने के लिए मिलेंगे. We are witnessing the high heat. heat conditions की अगर बात करें, it can reach up to 50 degrees Celsius, right? For a city like Delhi and Jaisalmer, it reach up to 44 to 45 in a normal time. So you can expect reaching out to 50. The disease will spread due to high temperature. Fresh water will be in a shortage of supply. More wars can be there for the excess of limited resources. Loss of capacity due to heat. And these are the other possible reasons that we can have. These are the social and economic impact of the climate change. Very important. If you're writing in means, अगर आप means में लिख रहे हैं तो आप इस तरह के folder points वहाँ पे लिख सकते हैं with a diagram. Now क्या recommendations दी हैं institutions ने? जो study की गई थी उसमें क्या recommendations आई है? First, they have called for an urgent need. What are the urgent need that is required to combat the climate change? That is the first and foremost priority. उसके साथ जो vulnerable populations हैं, जो उनके detrimental effect होंगे, जो negative consequences होंगे, उनको रोकने की जरूरत है. So they need to have a coordinations. और जो greenhouse gas है, the greenhouse gas emissions, right? Greenhouse gas emissions को कम करने की जरूरत है. And we need to have a worldwide approach जहाँ पे एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे सारे कंट्रीज, डेवलप्ड एंड डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज को इकट्ठे आके काम करना हो, राइट? द पेरिस एग्रीमेंट इज समथिंग दैट विल एम्ड फॉर द वर्ल्ड वाइड टेम्परेचर दैट विल इंक्रीज बाय 1.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस. ये कहा गया था कि 1.5 से ऊपर नहीं जानी चाहिए. दिस वाज अ कमिटमेंट व्हिच वाज मेड बाय द पेरिस क्लाइमेट चेंज, राइट? So we have to adhere these climate commitment also in the longer run. This will be helpful for not only for a specific country but for the entire globe. Moving ahead with other news, that is IMF raised the forecast for India's GDP growth. IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, ने इंडिया की फोरकास्ट में कुछ बढ़ोतरी की है, and this is 20 basic point. So 20 basic point they have increased, and they have said that the growth can be expected around 6.3%. Now, growth related news is important for you, specifically जब जनरल स्टडीज के पेपर 3 में आप अपेयर करेंगे means में, then you have to even give the current trend what is going and the forecast that is there by the different agencies. So growth projections की अगर बात करें specifically, the International Monetary Fund ने बताया है 6.3% की growth की गई है, and this is by increase of 20 basis point, right? They have also forecasted the global growth that is at 3.0. Why 3.0? Because COVID के बाद जो recovery है that is slow for most of the nations. And IMF ने retail inflations की बात की है, this will be there at 5.5. This is what that is anticipated globally before easing to 4.6 in 2024 and 25. So it's almost an year far जब इस तरह के नंबर देखने को मिलेगी. और इंडिया की अगर कैट की बात करें, the current account deficit for India is expected to remain at 1.8% for the financial year for both 24 and 25. So this is a projections, the growth projection coming from the IMF. Now कुछ और projections की बात करें, that is there. So it's a bright spot which is there for India. US की post COVID के बाद recovery 1.4% के, China 5.2, Japan 1.8, Germany 0.1, and India is expected to grow by 6.1%, and world across the globe it is 2.1. So manufacturing या गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज को और ज़्यादा स्ट्रेंथन करने की जरूरत है, जो 6.1 की टारगेट है वो अचीव कर पाए. Now RBI की क्या growth forecast रही है? We are also considering the fact that RBI, when it comes to the growth forecast, their point is also taken into consideration by government. RBI ने 5.4% की growth forecast की थी, right? So this was the initial forecast that was made by RBI, and it is seen that 6.5% की growth witness की गई है. और monetary policy projections की बात करें, the monetary policy committee which come up with the monetary policy reports, they have consensus that India Bank will be achieving the inflation target in medium term. लॉन्ग टर्म में देखना होगा क्योंकि आरबीआई ने जो रेपो रेट है, रेपो रेट इज कांस्टेंट. आरबीआई ने किसी तरह से रेट्स में इंक्रीज नहीं की गई है, और आरबीआई ने बेसिकली दे हैव एक्चुअली डन इट टू कंट्रोल द इन्फ्लेशन. इन्फ्लेशन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए सारे मेजर्स लिए गए. नाउ ग्लोबल रिकवरी की अगर बात करें, द ग्लोबल रिकवरी फॉर कोविड-19 पेंडेमिक, वाई इट इज़ देयर? बिकॉज कोविड-19 में भी बहुत हद तक इंडिया ने रिकवरी की है. द थिंग्स आर देयर. इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ या फिर जीडीपी में कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस की बात करें, थिंग्स आर प्रोग्रेसिंग. रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर हैड स्लो डाउन, तो जो सप्लाई चेन जो है, बेसिकली द सप्लाई चेन फॉर द फूड्स आइटम, सप्लाई चेन फॉर फूड आइटम हैज लोअर्ड, राइट? तो फूड चेन हैड लोअर्ड, विच इज अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट. इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज इज देयर, और मार्केट में भी ग्रोथ है, बहुत सारे ऐसे सेक्टोरल ग्रोथ है. स्पेसिफिकली अगर एमएसएमई बात करें, micro, small and medium enterprises, they are performing well. So these sectors have been contributing in the overall GDP growth and nation development. So this is a forecast for the other growth that we can see in this sector. India account for 19% of the growth recovery post pandemic, और दूसरे countries के कुछ figure हैं. You can compare with Russia, Colombia, Peru, South Africa, Mexico, Argentina and Chile. Moving ahead with other news, that is successful of Manus cell platform. During COVID-19, the Manus was having a tremendous response, और काफ़ी हद तक लोगों को benefit मिली है, ऐसा कहना है यूनियन हेल्थ मिनिस्टर का. And they have said that counseling to close to 2,000 people were done, and they were effective during the COVID-19 and even now and then. Now, Manus cells की अगर बात करें, this was actually developed in 2022 in the occasion of the World mental health day. The Manus networking across the states were launched, और इसके थ्रू फ्री मेंटल टेली कंसल्टेशंस दी जाती हैं राउंड द क्लॉक, सो दैट पीपल आर अवेयर, और रिमोटेस्ट ऑफ द रिमोटेस्ट एरिया में भी इसके बेनिफिट्स ली जा सकती है. द सर्विस इज एक्सेसिबल थ्रू अ टोल फ्री नंबर. टोल फ्री नंबर में किसी तरह के चार्जेस नहीं होते. देयर आर नो चार्जेस व्हेन यू मेक अ कॉल टू अ टोल फ्री नंबर, एंड दे हैव 42 एक्टिवेटेड टेलीमानस कॉल अक्रॉस 31 स्टेट एंड द यूनियन टेरिटरीज. तो ये इसकी एक्सपेंशन है और दायरे हैं. And this kind of examples you can use in general studies paper 4, जहाँ के ethics के पेपर में आप इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस को यूज कर पाएंगे. जिन बच्चों की साइकोलॉजी ऑप्शनल है, दोज ऑफ यू आर हैविंग साइकोलॉजी एज एन ऑप्शनल, उनके लिए भी एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे काम कर सकते हैं। नाउ mental health की अगर बात करें, the government has actually been focusing on the part of mental health. So what is the objective of this? First is to establish 24/7 tele-mental health, providing integrated medicine and psychological intervention, scale up the research and mental health services. So these are the foremost priority of the government through the tele-mental health or the mental health policies. Now, two-tier system है टेलीमानस में. The first is for the state where the cell will be introduced and trained to the counselor and mental health specialist के through. So the counselor will actually help the patients जो कि खास करके जो mental health के problems हैं उनको solve करने में. और tier 2 में जो specialist district mental hospital है, we call it DMHP program के through ये काम की जाएगी, जहाँ पे ई संजीवनी के थ्रू ऑडियो विजुअल कंसल्टेशंस भी होंगे. सो देयर इज अ वीडियो कंसल्टेशन प्रोविजन विच इज आल्सो देयर, which will be definitely functional in this regard. Now, moving ahead with the editorial for the day that talks about the women change, the society need to adapt it, and the women empowerment is something which is very important. So this particular article or editorial focuses on the part of women empowerment, which is in general very important for the society overall in holistic development. UPSC examination में बात करें, be it from general studies paper 1 to paper 4, आपको इस टॉपिक पे सवाल मिलेंगे. Now, what are the issues that I'll be discussing? First is a fresh start related to the constitutional provision, कुछ जैसे related constitutional provisions जो पहले किए गए हैं, और conclusions भी देखेंगे. So 17th editions of the Global Center report release की गई है by the World Economic Forum. This is again important. World Economic Forum releases the gender gap report. I'll tell you the ranking of India. But इस बार ये देखा गया और इसमें इस रिपोर्ट में फाइंडिंग्स ने पाया है that it will take 131 years to fill the gender gap. ग्लोबली की ये बात की गई. This is for the global level, right? और इंडिया की स्पेसिफिकली अगर बात करें, इंडिया में अगर हमें जेंडर गैप पूरी करनी है, इट विल टेक 149 years. This is what the finding is, and if you see the data which is coming, I'll show the data in a while. Now, reservation for most effective form of action that is there to promote equality. अगर equality promote करनी है, then reservation is essentially required. Now, ranking की अगर बात करें, इंडिया की रैंकिंग, इंडिया रैंकिंग was 127. This is for 2023 the current ranking. और कुछ कंट्रीज इंडिया से अच्छे परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, लाइक नेपाल एंड श्रीलंका एंड भूटान एंड बांग्लादेश. दे हैव बीन परफॉर्मिंग कमेंडेबली वेल कंपेयर टू इंडिया. तो ये रैंकिंग्स आपको पता होनी चाहिए. And to overcome the gender gap, there is a fresh start that has been there. So what is a fresh start and how it will impact? See, I'm precisely talking about the women reservation bill. अगर बात करें women reservation की bill की, this is there which was introduced in the new parliament. जब session बुलाई गई थी, special session of the parliament बुलाई गई थी, उसमें 128th constitutional amendment act के through women reservation bill लाई गई थी, where it promised that 1/3 of the seat will be reserved for the women in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assembly. ये basics आपको पता होंगे. Now, despite that, I mean, the adaptations of universal adult suffrage, women role in the country political future is still remain minimal. अगर बात करें women की role की, you see the part of participation which is there compared to many other countries, African countries. India में participations काफी low है. Across the world, women are appreciated in society and supported in their emotional role, which is definitely playing a significant role in the leadership. बात करें कुछ important organizations की, like the IMF, World Bank, ऐसे कई important institutions हैं जहाँ women representations काफी vocal रही हैं और काफी एक length और breadth पे काम कर रही हैं. Now, how does the women empowerment help the society to large? I mean, a larger extent, it play a positive role. So, kuch basics, you can use this as a diagram also if you're writing in mains paper. So, women empowerment ultimately call for first awareness, then participation and action. It's a triangular effect where ultimately come up with the part of the awareness with the civil society. Now, related constitutional provisions की अगर बात करें, when it comes to the part of reservations, अगर specifically reservations की बात करें, so there have been certain instances in the constitution where 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment was passed in 1993, और इसके through 1/3 of the जो seats थी reservation municipalities, this were specifically for municipalities and panchayat, उनमें reservations की बात की गई थी, right? Now, the reservation also goes for the Lok Sabha and state assemblies for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Specifically for SC and ST, the reservation was made according to their proportionate population which is there. Now, the constitution does not provide reservation for the seat for the women in Lok Sabha. अगर लोक सभा की बात करें तो यहाँ पे women को reservation नहीं दी जाती थी. After the passage of the bill, that is 128th Constitutional Amendment Act, that things will be possible as of now. Now, to conclude the part, definitely women empowerment एक बहुत ही important segment है हमारे society में, where the capacity building can be there और first time representatives के लिए this will help them in the policy making. When I'm talking about the women representation, I'm talking about the policy making in general, right? The government should also ensure the reservation model succeeded with the key bodies like the National Commission for Women, and recognizing the unpaid labor and equal sharing for the household is vital for the gender equality. तो जेंडर इक्वालिटी भी जो SDG के गोल हैं उसको भी अचीव करने में काफ़ी हद तक मदद करेगी. So these are all the important segments that need to be taken into consideration. Now, moving ahead with the answers and discussion for yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is B. इसके कुछ statement correct हैं, कुछ incorrect है. The first statement is incorrect. FSB के अगर बारे में बात करें, Financial Stability Board के बारे में, the regulation is there, right? And 2 is incorrect, where it comprises of national financial authorities. The statement 3rd correct है, was established during the G20, और statement 4 is incorrect. So check out आपने क्या options mark किए हैं, and accordingly you can revise from here. The second question, the correct option is C, that is gravity batteries have a gravitational energies that has potentially associated with the gravity due to its potential energy converted into electricity. ये statement first is correct. और इसकी जो दूसरी स्टेटमेंट है वो भी करेक्ट है, दैट इट्स ऑपरेट इन द राइजिंग मास ग्रेविटेशनल पोटेंशियल्स हैज द हार्नेस्ड विद द पार्ट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी थ्रू इलेक्ट्रिक जनरेटर्स. तो ये दोनों ऑप्शंस इसके करेक्ट है. चेक आउट व्हाट इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन यू हैव. टुडेज एमसीक्यू फॉर द डे. द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज अबाउट द नोबेल प्राइजेस. आपको कंसिडर करना है कौन कौन से स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट है. दिस इज ऑन द चेंज पैटर्न ऑफ द CSE 2023, जो लेटेस्ट पैटर्न चेंज हुई है उस पे सवाल है. फर्स्ट इज अ नोबेल प्राइज वेर अवॉर्डेड इन 1921. 6 Nobel prizes are characterized: literature, physics, and chemistry. Nobel prize are awarded in Oslo, Norway. That is the case for exceptional circumstances. And Nobel laureate received the Nobel prize with a cash award only. So do check out for the correct option. The second question for the day is mRNA. इस तरह के सवाल आपके prelims में काफ़ी ज़्यादा important है, क्योंकि UPSC अक्सर इस तरह के जनरल साइंस के सवाल पूछती है. mRNA is a genetic information to the DNA ribosome by the protein synthesis. mRNA play an important role in the DNA replications with the cell nucleus. So you have to choose the option which among the following option is correct, whether A is correct, B is correct, C is correct, or D is correct. Accordingly, you can mark your answer in the comment section down below. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQs. I wish you all the best. बहुत अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करें. Put your all best effort in preparing the examination. किसी भी तरह की कोई भी queries है, टेस्ट सीरीज, एडमिशंस, प्रोग्राम्स को लेकर के reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for stay connected till then.